This is the Blaisin Access Podcast, amplifying disability perspective one story at a time. Today is Monday, March 10th. I'm Blaise Bryant. I hope you had a great weekend, and I apologize for not communicating my radio silence for last week. I was planning a press conference and had some other family stuff that I was dealing with, and toward the end of the week, I was just absolutely shot. So podcasts did not happen, and I apologize for not communicating that, but everything is okay. We're back in the groove with Mental Health Monday. And this, in my opinion, is the worst Monday of the year. Why? Because the clocks spring forward. So yes, we get that extra hour of daylight, which doesn't really impact me that much. But for many of you sighted folks, it does. That also means one less hour of sleep. Or to have a hard enough time sleeping. Not thrilled about losing an hour of sleep. But let's see, is it just me? Do you feel the same way? Or do we actually have some evidence backing up that these time changes can mess with our mental health? Dr. Pal Coley is with 9 Health, which is an organization that focuses on mental health. Here's the first of her 3 clips talking about what's worst, going back or springing ahead like we did over the weekend.
Spring forward is actually a little worse for our bodies than fall backwards is.
Yeah.
And what happens is we have an internal body clock that's regulated by light and dark. That's called the circadian rhythm. Mm-hmm. And that controls the release of a sleep hormone called melatonin.
Right, and she's being interviewed there, and I couldn't really mute out the stuff from the interviewer. That's okay. Whatever. Which all makes sense there with the circadian rhythm and melatonin, because I have a sleep condition called non-24, where because of my total blindness, I'm not able to perceive any light whatsoever, and yes, it messes with my sleep. So, aside from me, because you learn enough about me, what else does this cause, Dr. Coley?
What it can cause is not just a feeling of grogginess and tiredness and irritability for a couple of weeks after, but it's actually been associated with an increased risk of inflammation, heart attacks, and car accidents.
Which makes sense, because again, we're getting up an hour, we're just not as sharp or with it, and yeah, it's a little scary to think about. It also can, if you are someone with narcolepsy, make things a bit worse too, because narcolepsy, you just suddenly fall asleep or you get paralyzed in your sleep, and it's just awful from people I know who have narcolepsy. And these time changes can also cause depression. So what can we do about it, Dr. Coley?
If you know it's coming, and you always do know that it's coming, you actually start going to bed 15 minutes earlier every day for like the 3 or 4 days before. And that really helps to adjust at least the nighttime bedtime routine. And it helps to get your body ready for that change in day or light.
Well, we missed the boat on going to bed 15 minutes early a few days before, but in any event, hey, that's a good little tip for next year. I wonder, now I'm not setting up a clip here, but when the clocks go back, do you go to bed 15 minutes later to help yourself adjust to that time? I would think that'd actually be a fairly logical thing to do, but what do I know? I'm a person with not a lot of logic at times. So a very interesting Mental Health Monday about the clocks going forward, unless you're in Arizona, and I believe the other state is Indiana. This is a reality we all deal with. And, oh, gosh, I just, I'm thrilled that it does stay lighter for an additional hour. But this whole losing an hour of sleep, yes, I freely admit it knocks me out of whack for a few days. And if it does to you too, hey, here's my own personal mental health tip. Give yourself a little grace and a nap if you need it. What do you think? Let me know on Facebook at Blaisin Shows. It's BLAISIN Shows. Make sure you rate, review, subscribe, and share. Tell people about the Blaisin Access podcast. That's a good free way to help it grow. Transcripts are AI generated and are not perfect, but they will give you a baseline sense as to what I'm talking about here on the show. We'll have Trivia Tuesday. Well, that's tomorrow. Cool. Lost an hour of sleep, but I at least know what day of the week it is. Yay, that's a win. I'm going to sign off with that. And thank you for listening to the Blaisin Access podcast. Amplifying disability perspective, one story at a time. This is Blaise Bryant. Have a great day.